Morning, guys. Another hot and steamy morning this morning. Just humid, you know. Sucks to see, guys. Sucks the energy out of me in the morning. So I missed last Friday putting out a video because I was on vacation last week. More of a staycation last week. We didn't go anywhere, but stayed home. Just had a really good week with the kids, my wife. Long list of projects and things to do, of which I did little. A longer list of things to do as a family, of which we did quite a bit. We went out fishing, we did a lot of things at home with the kids. And it was really good. I had a good week. It was refreshing. I needed a week away from work. I got that, and yeah, it was a good time. That was really nice. I got a couple of things on my mind this morning, and I'm not sure which way I want to go. Thinking about prayer this morning, and I'm thinking about selfishness and laziness. Selfishness, laziness, godliness, and cleanliness. I think I'll start there. So I just had this thought this morning. You know, you've heard the old adage. I'm not sure how it goes now. Cleanliness is next to godliness, or something like that. Just saying that order. You know, our God is a God of order. He designed things to be in order. To be put together. You know, there's a lot of conversation around creation and evolution, and how you know, evolution, there are drawbacks to evolution when you start thinking about order, intelligent design, and the, you know, the laws of thermodynamics, and how they you know, big picture wise, macro evolution wise, how things tend to move towards a state of disarray, falling apart. Look at me. Without putting some energy into it, and without some design, things will continue to decay. So therefore, they don't start as decayed and go in the other direction. You know, that whole thing. So, you know, godliness, His creation, He values order, He values design, He values all of those things. What I was thinking about this morning is my commitment, or lack of commitment, to order and design, and those things that bring joy to those around me, because of laziness. So where does that laziness come from? And I think it comes from a selfishness. And I just realized this morning that selfishness is a bit of lack of commitment to God's order in my life. You know, I think that's what He wants for me and wants for us, is some order in your life, in your home, in your garage, in your office, whatever your situation is. You know, I think that's what I think that's His desire for us, is to have that order and that peacefulness. I just realized some areas, well, I didn't realize, I've known that forever. I'm just drawing it together, but there's a deeper commitment. You know, I can get real lazy. So I just took a vacation, and that was one of the sticky points in my week off, is that, you know, I spent some time being lazy. Well, Jim, you're on vacation. You should spend some time being lazy. All right, I get that. And that's fine, but you gotta understand, I'm really good at it. I can be lazy with the best of them. But I want it both ways. I want to be lazy, and I want to have my time to do those things that, you know, my hobbies or my whatever. You know, what we try to do in our home on weekends and stuff is spend some time. What my wife tries to get us to value is the concept of spending some time in the morning doing those things that you need to do, so in the afternoon you can be lazy, or you can have fun, or you can do what you want to do. I don't lead that well, because I like to, again, I like to have it both ways. My day off, I like to sleep in, and then I like to wake up and have that lazy cup of coffee, right? And then I like to get around to those things that I want to do for the day on my day off, those fun things, and then I want to. You can do all of those things, you just can't jam them all into one day, and that's what I'm realizing, that my laziness is part of my selfishness. You can sleep in, but then you got to get up and get going. Or you can have your lazy cup of coffee on a Saturday morning, and nothing wrong with that, but get up out of bed and go do it. And I just realized that those things have an effect on everyone else in the home, because it is truly a selfishness. That we want it now and we want it later. And it's not teaching my kids well. Because what I find is then when I finally get to the point that, all right, it's time to get some stuff done because this is getting out of hand, they don't want to move because they've been seeing the old man being lazy. It's not as noticeable on the weekend, but in a week-long scenario where I'm at home every day, it starts to add up. So that's something that I learned, and I really want to be a help to the home on the weekends, so that my very busy mother of 3 homeschooling wife can have a bit of stress relief when I'm there. on the weekend instead of looking forward to me going back to work, because there's less to take care of there. So that's something that I learned this week. Apply that how you will. Your mileage may vary. You may be the one in your home that's the driver, and other folks are the ones that you're trying to motivate to move. There's a spiritual aspect of it that I realized this morning as I was thinking about all that laziness. And that's our God of order. So I think prayer about this subject for those in your home that struggle with this will be effective, because it is God's desire that we don't live lazy, that we don't that we have order and peace in our home. So he'll answer that prayer. That's something I'm going to be praying about for myself and for my kids, so that hopefully they won't have that struggle in their families. Lazy on in their families. Lazy on. They won't be lazy later on. Little Freudian slip there. So yeah, sorry I missed last Friday. It was my hope that sometime throughout the week I would catch a little time to do a little video and throw it up on Friday morning. But you know what? I was a bit lazy. So apologize for doing that. I do want to make it a bit of a commitment that I'll share these thoughts throughout the week. And I don't know if this grows into something larger, me doing this little video blog for you guys on a Friday morning. I've always had a desire to do something like this, but I've never had an audience for it. So if God blesses it and it grows into something different than that, a little bit bigger, that's cool. If 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of you guys get something out of this on a Friday morning, just as a little extension of our men's group, that's cool too. So I haven't been to our men's group in a few weeks, and I do miss you guys. I want you to know that I am praying for you, and I do miss you on Thursday nights. I've got some things going on in my home that I hope are temporary. I have a heart for that group, and I grow when I'm there. But there are times and seasons in our lives when we have different priorities. I talked about priorities a few weeks ago, and I'm in a season right now with some of the things that I've shared with you guys that I've prayed about, where I need to engage more and be at home at certain times. And the evening right now is one of those times when I just got to be there. We all have that. I hope you feel that freedom in the men's group, that you're not obligated to be there. There are those times when you need to be the husband, the dad, the father, the leader, whatever that is. So I appreciate your prayers in that situation, and hopefully that will change soon. We'll see. All right, I will see you next week. Peace, grace, love you guys.